The Nether Fortress is one of Minecraft's oldest structures, and it was the biggest structure in the game when it was added nearly 14 years ago. It has stood the test of time, and in my opinion, it still holds up fairly well. An iconic structure like this seems the obvious choice for the next installment of my digital LEGO Nether series, so without further ado, let's get building. Right out of the gate, I want to make it clear that I am not messing around with this module. The dimensions are 64 by 96 studs, which is the equivalent of 2 by 3 chunks in-game. In other words, huge. Very big for a LEGO interpretation. Fortunately, there is no terrain build in this module. It's just a huge sheet of lava with a Nether fortress on top. I'm not saying that to downplay the scale, I just want to be clear that this isn't going to be insanely large, it just takes up a big surface. Anyways, the Nether fortress is made out of a block called Nether bricks. The Nether bricks have a unique color. It's got a dark red, almost a purpley color, and there isn't really a good option to represent it in LEGO. At least, I would have said that a few years ago. But when Cheesy Studios created a scaled-down Nether fortress in his Nether display, he utilized dark brown, a color that works surprisingly well, contrary to what I would have expected. It isn't apparent in the digital interface, but once this scene is rendered, the color will look basically perfect for Nether bricks. Dark brown is unfortunately not a very common LEGO color, and I had to work with limited parts. The two most annoying missing pieces were the 2x2 jumper plate and the 2x2 inverted tile, neither of which exist in dark brown. That made certain aspects of the build very difficult. For example, these Nether brick fences had to be placed on a 1x2 jumper instead of a 2x2 jumper, giving the fence a half stud offset from where it should be. Nothing, however, was more difficult than creating the blaze spawner. The blaze spawner platform is built very strangely in the game, specifically because of this fence that goes around the spawner. It's mostly floating around the edge and only connects onto the main bridge at 2 points near the stairs. I could have easily modified it to be much easier to build with Legos, and it would have been unlikely that anyone would have noticed, but that's not how I do things. I like to make things very hard for myself. Anyways, the design I ended up with is extremely weird, although I am proud of myself for it. It uses a 2x2 by 2/3 brick with studs on the side, connect to two 1x1x3 bricks with the pinhole in it. This allows the entire segment to be flipped upside down, so that regular tiles can be placed on the underside to give it a smooth look. The top side still has anti-studs facing upwards, so this is where we'll be placing the fences in the center of the block. What we end up with is a slightly peculiar looking structure, but hey, it's game accurate. I have never had to do something this intricate and complicated for one of these builds, so I just want you to know that. After finishing this, I went back to the center of the fortress to connect the 3 bridge segments at this intersection. However, one side seems to be unfinished. It's actually my intention to expand this fortress backwards into the future Warped Forest and Crimson Forest. That's right, in case this fortress wasn't massive enough, we're going to expand it later on in the series. All that was left in terms of the main build was the bridge ends, and that was pretty easy to create with some sideways building techniques. The mobs, fortunately, were all existent in the stud.io catalog, including the appropriate skeleton, wither skeleton, and blaze molds and prints. We're still missing a rather big mob, the ghast. I will be using the design made by Cheesy Studios because it is a perfect ghast design and I don't need to create my own. With that, today's episode is done. Next episode, we will be building the Soul Sand Valley, as voted for by the community. Whoa, that's a lot of voters, nearly 1,000. Way more than on previous polls. Thank you guys. I know exactly why you voted for this one, so yes, I will be putting the Happy Ghast and Dried Ghast into the module. You're welcome. That video should come out fairly soon, as I've already completed the module while recording this, but in the meantime, please enjoy rendering time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.